Alright, here we go, everyone. AE has first ban. So let's see who they ban.
Actually banned Mathilda, who's a common ban right now. That's no surprise right there. And a Jawhead ban for Lethal Esports. So Pika, which bans do you expect to come out right now?
There's a lot of good bans, a lot of good sides lately, even with the nerf. Uranus has been picked a lot and been bowling in his lane. I could even see a Selena ban because they on Lethal Esports they do have a good Selena player.
I see. Do people? I don't know if you guys prioritize Paquito in here, but Paquito is a very scary pick. There's a Diggy ban. Wow. So, well, Diggy is a very unorthodox. It really depends on how you execute Diggy. But what do you think about the Diggy ban, Pika? Do you think it's reasonable to ban Diggy here right away?
So Diggy in West server they do play a lot of Diggy. I think AE did their study and probably played a couple games in West and noticed that they play a lot of Diggy. So I don't think that ban is worth right now. There's a lot of good heroes up, but I don't know what they have planned. Maybe they're just leaving them open and try to get those heroes themselves and try to get back one or two.
I see, I see. So there's still Paquito open and Benedetta to look out for. There's also Selena pick that you were talking about earlier. Who else? I believe at least in C server, Roger has been prioritized a little bit, and Eve as well has been really scary.
Yes, she has been really annoying for marksman. She could zone out really well with her ult, and she does a lot of damage.
Yeah.
She hurts.
Definitely. If you have like solid crowd control like Sylvana who can get people stuck in a circle, and then you have Eve, that combo is very, very scary. But we see a Selena ban here, and again, there's still many heroes open, guys. And this might be new for some of these teams because they're usually familiar with 3 bans. But here in this tournament, they're gonna be banning five heroes. So
Yes, and I haven't not much teams scrim in North America, which is I never seen of. Even with P2, not a lot of teams I had scrim. So which is kind of weird, but I think they did a lot of their studies. They watch a lot of MPL. I expect both teams to dominate right off the bat.
I see. So there goes the Esme first pick. Paquito got banned and Cho got banned, and the Alice and Uranus right away. So 2 offlaners right away for Lethal Esports. So actually, AETHER Explicit here, they have a chance to counter this if they want to. I think One would be a good pick here, or even like a Claude side lane might be good here. What do you think, Pika?
What do you think about Popo and Koopa's side against Uranus?
Actually, I don't see that often. It could melt the Uranus since Popol and Koopa has a lot of crowd control as well with the wolf stun and the traps. But I think Popol and Koopa is better suited as a tank for me at least.
Okay.
That's just my own opinion.
So you could be seeing a lot of Popo and Koopa side lane here in NA. They do pick that a lot, and it could be really, really annoying to many teams because of the traps, which gives you vision, and then also the stuns that it gives.
Wow, a Farsa and a Rafaela. So I'm expecting this Farsa to go to gold lane, I guess, and then I do expect a Bruno pick here. So I think it might be wise for Lethal Esports to ban Bruno here, because Rafaela Bruno, if you've been watching the MPL, oh man, that combo really hurts.
And here we go. They already picked our Hyper. What do you think about Claude Hyper?
Claude Hyper is actually very good as long as they don't have Chu on the other side, which they did ban. But the problem with Claude Hyper is people know that he doesn't have Purify with Claude Hyper carry. So if you have like a tank, like let's say Hilda, or let's say even Popol, to be honest, that could really distract your early game. It's gonna be really hard for Claude to farm the jungle, right? So that's the problem with Claude jungle. That's why more people prefer side lane Claude than jungler Claude.
Yes, I do agree. Here in the where competition, Claude is really hard to farm early, and that's his only issue. But if they bring this to late game, I do expect Claude will be unstoppable and be winning this. Will be carrying his team to win this match.
Definitely, Lethal Esports is looking like a really late game oriented team draft right now. They banned Kari, not really sure why. All right, but Benedetta is definitely a reasonable ban. Lunox gets banned as well. I mean, that's all right. I think Lunox does counter whatever Aether has right now. So what do you think this last ban is gonna be?
This last ban, in my opinion, could be a tank. And there we go. We have Popo and Koopa.
Popol and Koopa.
Wow.
So if they pick Popol and Koopa, it was gonna be a tank, right? Because they have side lane Uranus and a side lane Alice, so it was gonna be a Popol and Koopa tank.
Yes, I do agree.
What else could Lethal pick here? To be honest, they still need a support and they need a tank. I mean, Sylvana is still open. There's not a lot of tanks that are open right now. Usually the tanks that are being used are usually fighters anyways, and there's not much solid tanks that are being played. And sometimes people even do like 2 supports. They don't even play solid. They don't even pick solid tanks.
Even yeah, I'm surprised I haven't seen a Natalia ban or even a Natalia pick. She's really strong. She's really annoying. I'm surprised no one picked Natalia yet. And usually a team would pick Natalia in a support rather than a tank.
Natalia would be really good here for Aether Explicit, but if they do pick Nat, they're gonna be too squishy. So I mean, they can still pick Nat and like play Rafaela tanky, I guess, and then Farcell gold lane, and to distract the Claude. But you know, I think they're hovering this Lapu here, which is okay as well, to be honest.
Yeah, Lapu's still a good pick, even with the nerf. I still think that he's a really good hero to play.
I just don't think Lapu is the best pick here in the current situation because they have so much sustain on the other side, Uranus and Alice. Like even if Lapu, you know, goes in with his ulti, I don't think he's gonna be able to burst unless it's early game at the turtle. Like level 4 turtle, maybe he could help, but other than that, once he gets to mid game, late game, it's gonna be way too hard to chase down a Uranus. And they also have a Hylos, the super sustain on that team. Jeez.
I expect Lethal Esports to play aggressive right off the bat, or maybe even Hylos to help Claude farm in the early game, so he could dominate in the mid and late game as soon as he gets a Demon Hunter sword.
All right. For the draft, honestly, if Claude doesn't get distracted with his farm, I honestly think Lethal Esports won the draft. Let me be honest with you. Even though you know the fan favorites might be Aether Explicit here, since they are a more known team, they do have Riles on their team. The draft for me really went to Lethal. What do you think, Pika? Who do you think won the draft on this one?
I might have to go with AE on this one and see them play. They need to play aggressive, and that's what I hope to see from them. Because if they play aggressive and they put pressure on Claude, then I think they could take the win on this game.
I see, but here we go.
Hold on.
Okay. Oh, there's a there's a. Okay, we're good. We're back at it.
My apologies.
Again. No, all good. We're in game number 1. This is the best out of 1, and the first game of the day will be Aether Explicit versus Lethal Esports. So far, Lethal Esports, they're actually helping this Claude farm freely right here. So this is actually really good, but Rafaela is looking to distract this Claude, but I don't think Rafaela is going to do anything here, especially with the Hylos, you know, protecting Claude's farm here. So this is really good for Lethal Esports so far, and I'm surprised right now nobody's really taking Lethal until now, and it looks like the Hylos and the Claude doing the you know, the double jungling farming strategy right there on the red buff. And let's see, nothing much happening here. So far Uranus is, I don't know what he's doing. He's going to the Litho side and going at mid lane to kind of just give vision, I guess, but Lapu is freely farming at the top side of the map, and he's going to clear a lot faster. And Esmeralda, for some reason, he's here at mid lane trying to help right away. Nobody took the Litho still, by the way, and Kagura gets stuck in the turtle spawn, and she dies right away. So that is not a good start for Lethal Esports. So the first blood going into Aether Explicit, and here we go. Claude is farming comfortably right now, no problems at all. And I expect this lane for Uranus and Lapu Lapu. This is gonna be a stalemate. There's no way for Lapu Lapu to kill the Uranus unless Uranus is just super greedy. All right, if you play Uranus correctly, this should be really easy. But so far, Lethal Esports really trying to funnel everything, all the resources into this Claude. All right, they're throwing everything into this Claude, but they gotta remember they also have an Alice on the you know, on the gold lane, so that's also a late game hero. that they could they could expect to carry in the later stages of the game. But right away, as soon as the turtle spawns, Aether, they're ready for it. So let's see what Lethal Esports will do here. Will they contest this turtle? And nice zone from Farsa, but I don't think it's enough. The turtle's super low. Who's gonna retribution the turtle? The turtle's gonna go to Aether Explicit right here, and Lapu Lapu does very good in zoning. Rafaela gets that kill on Kagura, and look at this Lapu Lapu team fight. Potential right there. Yushin also gets a kill right there. So Aether really showing their aggressiveness in the early stages of the game. They do have the early game draft. I mean, their early game is better than Lethal Esports, so it's reasonable that the Lethal Esports is actually losing in terms of objectives right now. I think the win condition here for Lethal Esports is to get this Claude farmed up and get some items. Same with the Alice. Get those heroes some items before you go into team fights, because if you go into team fights right now with with the current draft that you have, it's not gonna be a good day for you. So far, Aether Explicit, both teams, their blue buffs are up and the red buffs are up. So Claude already got the blue buff, so he's jungling a lot more efficiently since he does have an escort on his side. He always has the Kagura and the Hylos on his side. So if I'm the Claude right now, I'm getting babysitted. So there should be no excuses for this Claude not to do well. And right there, Lapu Lapu actually got a kill on the top side of the map. But then again, it was a 1v3 because Farsa and Rafaela were there as well. So this is gonna be Golden Shield being taken down by Aether Explicit right here and getting a lot of gold for three of the members of Aether Explicit. But right here though, Lethal Esports, they want some form of trade, even though it's something little. It's a red buff for a tower, which is obviously not worth it, but they need anything that they could get right now. So I'm taking the red buff and getting taking what they can. But Aether Explicit right now really working as more of as a team than Lethal Esports. From what I'm noticing, Lethal Esports, they're more of like protect the core strategy. They're just sticking next to the Claude, but there's not really any objective going on with Lethal Esports. They're just trying to get this Claude farmed up. But for Aether Explicit, they're moving as a team to get these objectives one by one, which is something that you want to see in professional play. The turtle's gonna be up, but I think Aether Explicit, they want to prioritize the towers over the turtle. So this might go to Lethal Esports. Actually, nice ulti from Hylos to try and zone out the Rafaela. Rafaela will have to flicker away. Lethal Esports, they did get the turtle for a tower trade. I still think the tower will be will be better than a turtle. It gives more gold globally, and it gives you more map pressure. Yi Sun-shin uses his his ulti right there for some vision. Uranus is still really farming a top lane against Lapu Lapu, so nothing special going on right now. Hylos doing his best to defend this mid lane to clear the wave, and he did manage to clear the wave. Esmeralda's actually giving some vision here on the bottom right side of the map for to just distract Claude, to know where Claude is, because once they see one member of the three people at mid, like for example Kagura, Hylos, or Claude, they know where those three people are at right away, because those three are sticking together. So it should be common sense for Aether right now that wherever those three are, or if they see one member out of those three in the minimap, that's where Lethal Esports will be. Alright, so here we go, Claude going in with the Blazing Duet right away. I'm not sure if he even had stacks on his Blazing Duet when he ulted in, but alright. He did manage to make Lapu Lapu recall, so that's alright, I guess. But no objective still from Lethal Esports, and actually Aether Explicit denying this blue buff from Claude. It is very important for Claude to get a blue buff, by the way, because if you don't have the blue buff, you're gonna be spamming your first kill, and you're not gonna be able to stack, because you're gonna be running out of mana unless you clear out these jungle minions and you get some sustain from that. Alright, here goes the Farsa ulti. Hylos was forced to ulti out and survive. Esmeralda also falling Star Moon right there, but they were not able to secure any kills there for Aether Explicit. And right again, like I said, Aether Explicit moving more of a team and more focused on objectives, really. Man, if I'm Lethal Esports right now, I would be worried right now. This is not looking good. All the objectives, they've been trading all the objectives cleanly right here for Aether Explicit. And another turtle coming in for the Yi Sun-shin. And again, right away, they're already moving towards the bot side of the map to bully this Alice. This Alice still doesn't have much item check right there. We do have the Alice. Oh, I didn't really see that. It was way too fast. But all right, there you go. We do have the Alice with a Clock of Destiny right away. So she doesn't have Lightning Truncheon yet, but she's gonna go for an Enchanted Talisman soon, so she doesn't run out of mana. But when you go for Enchanted Talisman after Clock of Destiny, you're not gonna get a lot of damage. You're gonna get a lot of sustain on your mana, but you're not gonna get a lot of damage output from Alice. Alright, so we're good with the item check, and they get another pickup on the top lane. Uranus actually gets bursted by Farsa right there. And again, they're just taking towers one by one as a team for Aether Explicit. Another blue buff denied from Claude, and this Hylos is very squishy for a sustain hero. Jeez. Aether Explicit really showing superiority here in this game number 1, and another kill from Farsa. The burst, they're just snowballing all the way through. Kagura cannot do anything. The best thing that Lethal Esports could do here is play safe and clear the minion waves and try to get to late game, because right now all the objectives are being taken away. It's only what is that? Can't really see. Is it 6 minutes into the game or 7 minutes into the game? But yeah, all these second tier towers are already down. This game is going really, really fast. But I did kind of expect that because, well, Lethal Esports, their draft is based off late game, but they didn't get their win condition, and Aether Explicit took advantage of that. All right, really, really took advantage of that with the teamwork that they had. They just took the objectives one by one, and even though Claude was freely farming, the objectives really mattered. All right, if you're a team that don't do objectives, you're just bound to lose in the long run. All right, the only way Lethal Esports that I could see coming back from this is if Claude gets farmed up even more, if Aether Explicit somehow loses the Lord on this one. But it's going to be very, very slim. But there's still a slim chance right here. Let's see if they could pull it off. If I'm Lethal Esports, I would give this Lord, alright? It's a level 1 Lord, so it's okay to give it to Aether Explicit. They should be able to clear this level 1 Lord. It shouldn't hit the tower if Hylos tanks it. But look at Lethal Esports. They're really trying to group up to secure this blue buff. And Claude did secure the blue buff here. So that's going to be a little help right there. But they have Lapu Lapu ulting out. Okay, they want to play it patiently here for Aether Explicit. They want to wait for the Lord and make sure to freeze the lane so that the Lord and the minion wave goes in all at the same time. So it's going to be harder for Lethal Esports to actually push in. There you go. It's a lot clearer for me now. It was really blurry earlier, but for some reason it just went really clear. All right, 7-0 is the score line, and Lethal Esports still don't have a kill, and all the objectives. Look at Aether Explicit's tower. They have not been touched at all this game. Jeez. They really want a love set here. They don't want to give any kills at all. And the tower is being taken down. Nice zoning ulti from Farsa. Hylos tried to ulti in to sustain that damage, but it is just not enough. It's just way too hard for Lethal Esports to do anything here. And Aether Explicit, they want to finish this game as fast as possible, because if they get to late game, they might be giving a chance to Lethal Esports to come back from this. There you go. Finally, Claude going in with the Blazing Duet. Does he have enough damage? And there we go. They're actually doing a lot better now. But Alice gets bursted by Farsa again. Farsa is 1 HP. Oh, actually, Rafaela is 1 HP. It was actually Alice that was 1 HP. But Winter Truncheon is going to be wasted there, and he's still going to die. It's a 3-for-3 trade, but all the inhibitor towers are going to be going down, and the Nexus still lives for Lethal Esports. Actually, one inhibitor tower is still alive. But look at the Farsa damage and the Esmeralda. The damage is just way too much. They need they need a necklace of Durans to counter the Esme. They need so much items to win this game, man. Lethal Aether Explicit, they want to push this bot lane tower. Are they gonna get it? It's too tanky, and Esmeralda gets killed by the tower. A little bit too greedy there, but Claude dies anyways, and I think Uranus wants his kill on the Farsa, and he might be able to get it. But Farsa, though, we gotta remember, Farsa's really, really fed. Uranus might be a little too greedy here. I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of this, but he ends up getting the kill, and he is gonna live. Eason Shin is not gonna get there on time with the Rafaela. So again, now Lethal Esports, they're gonna get some breathing room. The Farsa is dead, and also the Esmeralda is dead still, so they're gonna get some breathing room to open up the map. But then again, they only have 1 tower left, so if they get caught out like too overextended, they have nowhere to run except to the Nexus. There's no towers that's gonna be defending them, so this is gonna be really hard for Lethal Esports to come back. But hopefully We see a really good blazing duet from Claude and a really good, game-changing stun from Alice. Some sort of like miracle play. They really need something right now. I thought it was gonna be a love set, but Lethal Esports managed to get a couple kills here at least. So that's pretty good. The Lord will spawn soon. Yisun Shin getting some vision with his ulti right there. And Aether Explicit, they're really showing discipline right now. Even though they're so ahead, they're still playing it safe. They're still playing super safe for a team that snowballed the whole game. All right, their towers are not even touched at all. So Farsa's gonna poke a little bit right there. I haven't seen Farsa a lot this time because Eve has gone out. I'm surprised nobody picked Eve, but we see Farsa is still definitely a viable pick, and it's still her ulti definitely still hurts. Look at the scoreline of Farsa. Is that 6-1 and something? I can't really see the last number. But right here, Aether Explicit, they're just waiting for the next Lord so that they can finish the game. And I think Lethal Esports, they need to make something happen right now. Because if they just wait, the map pressure is always going to go to Aether Explicit. And they're never going to come back. I think they need to make something happen and get a pick off. Lapu Lapu's going to ulti right there. So they just need to keep track of cooldowns and make a move. The Lord has spawned. So I think it's gonna be I think Lethal Esports really need to contest this if they want to win. Because if they give this, most likely Aether Explicit will just end the game and hit the Nexus. But right away, Lord has been slain by Aether Explicit without any problems at all. The blue buff will get taken by the Claude, and he's doing a lot of damage right there on Claude. Hylos will ulti, but it's a little bit delayed right there. And Hylos actually gets to kill on Lapu. That might not be good for Aether Explicit. So it's going to be 4 people right here pushing in with the Lord. It is a 14-second death timer for Lapu Lapu here. We see Claude's damage increasing here and there because it is getting to late game. It's 14 minutes into the game. Item check right there, and Claude is almost full build. He has Demon Hunter Sword, he has Golden Staff, and of course his jungle item, Raptor Machete. And I think he might be building either Athena's or maybe Immortality here. It's most likely Immortality because it does have armor. But the Lord is going to be pushing in here. It is a level 2 Lord, so it's going to be a little bit tankier. It is not going to rush in and charge because there's no more inhibitor towers. But let's see how Aether Explicit will take advantage of this Lord. Again, there's only 4 members because Lapu Lapu is going to be late. And look at that damage. Oh my god, Alice almost got bursted, but he lives another day. He flickers out, and this Lord is actually going to get cleared. And Lethal Esports might live here if they manage to clear this minion wave. They have a lot of wave clear because of this Alice, who used Winter Truncheon in the middle of the Lord, and they live another day. This might not be good for Aether Explicit, because it's going to be a long time till the next Lord spawns. Oh man, this might not be good for Aether Explicit. Let me tell you now. Alright. Oh, he actually built Brute Force Breastplate for Claude. Alright. I thought it was going to be Immortality, but I guess Brute Force Breastplate could also work. I'm surprised that Claude is not building Athena's, because the one that really hurts is Farsa. It's not even Lapu Lapu. Lapu Lapu, I don't even see Lapu Lapu really focusing the Claude too much. It's mostly Farsa doing all the damage. So I think it would have been better for Claude to really build Athena's instead of Brute Force. But hopefully he gets to the Athena shield before the next Lord spawns. So here we go again. We see Aether Explicit playing super safe, even though the gold lead, look at the gold lead, it's not even close. Alright, that just shows you the discipline of this team. They don't want to throw, alright? So they're playing it super safe and disciplined and patient. And they're freezing the lanes, alright? So this is one thing that a lot of amateur teams don't really know what to do. When the Lord is not spawned yet, it's better to freeze the lane so that it actually delays the losing side into getting more farm and getting into the later stages of the game. So, but at the same time, Aether Explicit is still maintaining the vision around the map, so that, Lethal Esports, they don't get any breathing room at all. Uranus did not even split push or anything here because all the towers are still up. There's no way for him to push because they were just so fed. Aether Explicit was just so fed early game to mid game. The red buff is being taken by Claude, but I think this should be an easy retribution for the Claude right there. The blue buff should be up soon as well. And here we go. Uranus is actually chasing the Yisun Shin, and a lot of damage right there from Uranus. But he might be overextended here. And he's being sandwiched here right now. I don't know if he's gonna live. This might not be good for Uranus. That might be a wrong decision, bro. Yeah, definitely the wrong decision to overextend. That is way too overextended right there. All right, so we're back at it again. It is a 4v5 now in favor of Aether Explicit still. Esmeralda's super tanky, but hopefully Lethal Esports, they have Necklace of Durance to counter the SMF. Finally, Alice is definitely into the later stages of the game now, so she's gonna hurt as well. But the Lord will be up in 38 seconds, and I think Uranus will be back by then. And Lapu Lapu almost dying again, but Farsa does so much damage from the Alice, and this is the Alice, stun that I was talking about. But still, Farsa actually lived with 1 HP. Super unlucky. Hylos dies as well, and this is it. This is gonna be the game-changing play. If Claude really needs to clutch right now if they want to win. The BMI was not too far out, but the Farsa ulti is gonna really hurt, and Claude really needs to run away if they want to live this, because he's the only, he's the only one that could wave clear this if they wanna live another wave. So Kagura here though does have the burst now in the later stages of the game as well. So actually Kagura is supposed to be a good pick against Farsa, because whenever Farsa ultis, she's stationary and Kagura could simply ulti and stun her or knock her back. But here we see Esmeralda almost getting bursted right here by the Claude. And again, Uranus might be a little too greedy again, but he is going to get away this time around. The Lord is up, and it is actually at 4v4 right now. Riles is still dead, so the jungler for, he's up now. So I think he should get there in time. Esmeralda already started the Lord in advance. They know that they have the team fight going. The Farsa already ulted. Lethal Esports, they really need to go in. I'm not really sure why they didn't contest at all, because they really needed that Lord to turn around the game. But just giving it away for free just like that is not a good look right there for Lethal Esports. So now they really need to depend on the Claude Blazing Duet and the Alice ulti again to wave clear. All right, if I'm Uranus right now, I would be clearing the wave right away somewhere and just let them chase you and buy time. That's the best thing Uranus could do here, because Uranus right now on team fights will not do much. He just gets bursted, the shield gets eaten by Esmeralda, and all that stuff. So I think it's a lot better if Uranus actually split push. Well, it's too late now, obviously, because the minions are pushing in. So can Lethal Esports survive on this on this third Lord? Hylos already ulting in, and Alice already almost dying there. Alice does have Guardian's Angel, Immortality, sorry, why did I say Guardian's Angel? But here we go, and I think that might be GG. Well played. Aether Explicit will take that first series. Congratulations.
Victory!
Sorry guys, I'm a little